So I had these scrap pieces of wood in my craft room. I can't even remember why I bought them originally, but since it's fall, I decided I wanted to make a pumpkin with these pieces. So what I did was take 6 pieces of these wood pieces and I cut the end off. So I just rounded it out using a scroll saw. Then I played around with the shapes to put them in a position that would make a pumpkin. So I'm pretty happy with this. I just kind of stacked them and then moved the pieces around to see. And yes, I really like that. So next what I did was take a little bit of hot glue and secure those wood rounds together. I guess they're kind of wood ovals. So by putting a little bit of hot glue onto one side of it, it was easy to stack the wood on top of each other. Then on the final piece, I did put glue so that it would go between both of the lower wood ovals. Now that's going to give me my instant stick, but I want this to stick long term. So I took a little bit of wood glue and put that onto the backside of these wood ovals. And then using a paintbrush, I just filled in between the creases so that all of these wood rounds will be secured together. Next, I came back with some spiced pumpkin acrylic paint and I watered it down a bit because I'm going to have to do multiple coats on this pumpkin. But by watering it down, it makes it a little bit thinner and easier to paint. So I was able to paint the entire pumpkin with just a little bit of this spiced pumpkin paint. And having this acrylic paint watered down a bit makes it a little transparent so you can see the different shades of the color on the wood. I made sure to get all of the nooks and crannies, all of the sides, everything that could potentially show when this is finished. And while that was drying, I took out this wall plaque that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was $2.49, but because it's on sale, it's $1.50, which is a really good deal. So I cut off the hanger because I'm not going to need that. Then I just took some black acrylic paint. I believe this was from Decoart. It was on clearance. It was a really good deal, but it's an acrylic paint that works so well for crafting. So I painted the entire wall plaque, this wall plaque, with that black acrylic paint. Now this plaque does have some lines in it, so it almost is like a shiplap type style, which is very farmhouse, and I think that will be perfect for my pumpkin sign. And while that was drying, I took a Dollar Tree pumpkin stem that I had cut off and put a little bit of joint compound on. And once it was dry, I painted it with burnt umber paint and set it off to dry. By this time, my pumpkin was pretty much dry, so I came back with more of the spiced pumpkin paint. Now this I'm doing full strength. There's no watering this down, but I'm going to be blending some paints together. So I gave it a nice coat of that orange paint. Then I came back with some cream color. I think this is antique parchment. And I just put a line of that cream paint on all of those wood ovals. Then I came back and did a little bit more on the bottom. This will just give the pumpkin a little bit more shading or highlighting, I guess. But I didn't want to use a darker color on the bottom, so I just blended in a little bit of that cream with the orange that's already wet. And I forgot to show you that I came back and just dry brushed my pumpkin stem a little bit. And then I used some hot glue to secure the pumpkin stem to my pumpkin. And I want to give it a more farmhouse feel, kind of a rustic thing going on. So I did take some different color paints and then I came back with a toothbrush and dipped it into the paint, and I got it wet a little bit, and then running my finger across the toothbrush will just kind of splatter that paint onto my project or my pumpkin. I did different colors, so I did a cream color, I also did some of the burnt umber, and I even came back with some tan. Now, while that was drying, I came back to my wall plaque and I'm using folk art crackle paint. This is so much fun to really get an aged appearance to a project. It doesn't matter what you're using it for. It's very nice and shiny when you put it on. And depending on how thick you lay the crackle coat down, that's going to determine how much crackling you get. So I laid it on pretty thick. Get it? I laid it on pretty thick. And once it was dry, I came back with some white acrylic paint. And I think you can see it is already beginning to crackle. This stuff is awesome. It is so much fun to work with, and I love that crackling appearance. And once I was done with the background or the plaque, then I came back to my pumpkin and just using some faux greenery, I just cut off a couple of sections of these leaves and attached them to the pumpkin. And then I had this paper covered wire. This stuff is so much fun. I just wrapped it around a paintbrush. And then I have a perfect spiral. So then I'm going to secure the spirals to the pumpkin as well. And I can just kind of tuck them in between those wood ovals. And it looks like it's like the pumpkin tendrils, like the little vines that go on the pumpkin. And then I came back with the wood glue and put it onto the two bottom ovals of the pumpkin. And then figured out where I wanted the pumpkin to sit on my sign and just held it in place for the wood glue to attach. And even though this plaque did have a rope hanger, I wanted it to have a wire hanger, but the wire I have is not sturdy enough to have it actually hang from that. So using some jute twine, I made another hanger that fits onto the back of the sign. This way I can hang up my pumpkin sign and not worry that it's going to pull onto the faux hanger that I made. And here is my pumpkin. Oh my gosh, I am so happy with this project. This was actually a very easy project, and I really think, and I love the crackle coat. I think that just really adds something extra to it, as does the leaves and the little tendrils that the pumpkin has. I'm so excited to decorate for fall. I've got lots of other things that I've been making in my craft room, and I cannot wait to share them with you. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the bell notification. That way you'll get an alert every time I have a new video coming out. And be sure to come back for my next video where I am going to show you how to take Dollar Tree glassware and candlesticks and create something really original for a very fun craft for your fall decorating this year.